Hello and welcome to Left Footers, the unlikely five-a-side
podcast.
I had challenge in my head for some reason.
I mean, it could be a challenge.
Welcome to Left Footers.
It's a challenge listening.
I'll do it again.
The challenge is for the
Cut, scene. What's the line?
I'm not cutting anything. You can say what you want. It's going out on the internet.
Welcome to Dion Dublin's Dick, the tribute podcast. Welcome to Left Footers, the unlikely five-a-side podcast. I am Jason Stamp.
I am Aaron J.
And we are back by no demand other than ourselves. But yeah, we're back. We've had a bit of a break. It's been very difficult to schedule. So it's good to be back.
Break as well, because we were just starting to build steam.
Steam, yeah. Steam.
We've got views got up quite considerably.
More than a kettle.
In the last. Yeah. We did all right. There's other podcasts out there from comedians in our local vicinity that haven't lasted the test of time.
Yeah, well, we've just been busy. So it looks like
we've just been busy. You know, they've got nothing on.
We're in demand.
Still not able to do it.
We're in demand. Yeah, that's what it is.
You've been on a cruise. I've got a
I've
dodgy
been on
heart.
Multiple cruises. You nearly died. But either way, we've put it all away. Mate, do you want the views or not?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, back from the brink.
Yeah.
That's just me.
That's just you in Malta.
It was 33 degrees at one point. I thought it was a goner, mate.
Mate, I can't wait to make this heart issue my entire personality.
It should be, mate. I'm surprised you're not already doing it. You just corrected me when I said you nearly died.
I'm doing a half marathon next year, mate. You better believe.
It's supposed to be a full marathon.
I'm recording a montage of that and putting White Flag by Dido over the top.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a full marathon, but he's not sure it's not going to pack up. So he's
yeah.
We've got a marker halfway through. So we are back. In keeping with the new season coming up, we have gone with this week. We are going to. If you've not some inexplicable reason you've never watched or listened to the podcast before, what we do is we pick five-a-side teams based on a very loose theme, and what we try and do is pick players that aren't superstars, but they have a certain kitsch value.
Kitsch? Nice.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from.
Niche?
No, kitsch is the thing, isn't it? It's like unique.
Okay.
Kooky.
Oh, yeah, kitschy.
Kitschy, kitschy. So this is the gold people tune in for. That's why we're building up a kettle full of steam right now.
Yeah. The only people that watch or listen to this podcast either know us, are related to us, or are trying to be booked by you at some point.
Yeah, and I admire all of them.
To message you about.
All I'm saying is, I see how many emails I get. There's some of you not pulling your fucking weight. What I would say,
Jason.
Yeah.
No, I love the podcast,
how are you?
mate.
Oh, family, all right?
Got one, haven't you?
I'll get you statistics on how infrequently you've booked me.
Not deleting it. So it's all going to be out.
I want it to be out.
Good.
Since when do you think I give a fuck? We pick five-side teams that aren't the big hitters. They're people that might go a bit, those kind of streets we'll never forget posts you see. Yeah. That's what our whole thing is based on. So, and this week we have decided to go with Premier League flops.
Yeah.
So it might be the value or the performance or whatever, but yeah, we've gone with Premier League flops. That is our teams this week. So I will let Aaron start us off.
What, for goalkeeper?
Yeah, what's your goalkeeper? Who's your goalkeeper?
Brad Jones.
Brad Jones. Did we not have Brad Jones, or was this when we were talking about number 2? No, you had Harper, didn't you?
Brad Steve Harper, yeah.
Brad Jones is an archetypal number 2.
I mean, Brad Jones, Liverpool mainly people know him from.
Is it Bournemouth? I feel like Bournemouth.
Potentially, I think he did the rounds. He was Australian goalkeeper, Liverpool number 2, I believe, underneath Pepe Reina in the pecking order, not just...
Why is he a flop then?
Because he's useless. I watched him once, right?
You've just gone straight on the nose.
Yeah, it isn't necessarily...
Someone who shouldn't play football.
It isn't necessarily
We're taking different approaches.
Just someone that isn't very good at football and shouldn't be a Premier League. I'll give you an example, right? And this will always stick in my memory. I reckon I was about 10, maybe 11, right? Watching Colchester. It was at Layer Road. Do you know Layer Road?
There's always some sort of past Colchester trauma.
Yeah, I always try and make it. I always try and get these people close to. It's an experience for me. He was on loan at Blackpool.
Right.
Blackpool, Colchester, at Layer Road. Bearing in mind, Layer Road is a 6,000 capacity stadium where only a handful of the stands had seats.
Right.
Right, the most of it was mainly a terrace.
Yeah.
Right. We'd made it to the championships, I reckon it's 2007, and Brad Jones is on loan at Blackpool. The away team often warmed up in front of where I was, where the family end was.
You, the Colchester
So I'm standing
ultras.
leaning up against the wall watching Brad Jones warm up, right? He's got more water on his head than there is anywhere else in the country at that point, right? Just smothers his head in water, Alice band, gloves covered in water, like slick. And the goalkeeper coach is just volleying balls at him. I didn't see him catch one. Like, the goalkeeper coach isn't even trying to score. He's trying to get you to catch the ball.
Catch.
And he's just slapping them at the floor, punching.
Just halfway through the session, he changes the ball for a balloon.
Oh, honestly, I reckon the beach ball that misfooted Pepe Reina against Sunderland would have done a better job in goal than Brad Jones.
What, did you win?
I can't remember now. I remember him being useless.
I reckon he had a worldie. That's why you were so
He didn't
bitter.
have a worldie. He was useless. There's a handful of goalkeepers that I remember watching at Layer Road that were absolutely honking. He was one of them. Lee Camp was another, but obviously Lee Camp never made it above the championship.
Lee Camp, I think you find, he was our Scott Carson at Man United.
No, you're thinking of Lee Grant.
I am thinking of Lee
Who
Grant.
had a worldie against Colchester at Layer Road, weirdly.
Well, fuck you then, Lee Camp.
Yeah,
You're
you
nothing
had
to
Lee Camp in one of your teams. Most appearances in the championship ever.
what a legend.
Anyway, it's not about Lee Camp, it's about Brad
Okay, so
Jones.
you've just gone with a terrible goalkeeper as a flop.
He looks like he should be a good footballer, you know, nice hair, got a good look about him,
Wet
but
gloves.
actually didn't have the prerequisite of being good at football.
Okay.
Honking.
Brad Jones seems, that one felt deeply personal to me. I don't know. There we go. I like the way you're invested. So for my goalie, just if you're okay, do you need a minute?
I'm fine. Yeah. Go for it, mate.
Brad Jones seems already. I went with. Again, I feel like we've taken different approaches here.
Yeah.
Although don't get me wrong, he was awful.
Yeah.
I've gone with Massimo Taibi.
Yeah, a bit before my time, but he's the.
So basically, when United went into this goalkeeper purgatory after Schmeichel left, and originally the replacement was Mark Bosnich.
Yeah.
On a free from Villa, which was a bit of a weird one anyway. That didn't pan out. Obviously, it got worse for him later as time went on.
When he went to Chelsea, that was game over for Bosnich.
Yeah, he
ended up being number 2 to Terry Alderton on Sky One.
He decided he liked cocaine and it girls instead. So, you know, people make different career choices.
It's not a bad life, is it?
Yeah, he did all right. So, yeah, after a while, they brought in Massimo Taibi, which was from Venezia. So, obviously, you know, Serie A elite team.
Yeah,
so you're going to expect that you're going to have a great goalie.
The canals of Venice.
I remember, I think his first game was against Liverpool, and I'm pretty sure we won 3-1. And there was a little bit of a question mark over their goal, but you've beaten Liverpool at Anfield, I think, so everyone sort of let it go. Then he let one through his legs to Letitia, I think.
Or did he? Or did he,
yeah. And then, what was that?
It's all about the angles, I think.
And then his last game was, he let one in, dropped a howler in the first minute against Chelsea, and we went on to lose 5-0.
Okay.
So I think he made a total of 4 appearances, made at least 3 Stonewall mistakes, 4.5 million, which was a lot of money at the time, I would have said.
A lot of money then, yeah.
And then I don't know where he ended up, but he just sort of got taken out to a field and shot by Ferguson with one of his racehorses, I think. So Massimo Taibi was then taken to the glue factory.
I reckon he walks Fergie's horses around the parade ring.
I'm just going to throw this out as well. I've always had a problem with a goalkeeper that wears tracky bottoms, and he wore tracky bottoms.
You see, the last episode that went out was when I had Connor instead of you.
Yeah,
and
I'm
I
not
went
ready
for
to talk about that, you fucking
Gabor
whorebag.
and he is the only goalkeeper that can get away with tracksuit bottoms.
Yeah, do you know what? I think I did listen to that. You know, I have mixed reviews, but he was funny. But I could hear the shame in your voice by replacing me.
That was in my kitchen as well.
I've never even been in your kitchen.
Nah.
This is where it is. This is levels. Yeah, I think you're right.
A big thank you to Town and Gown for having us today.
Yeah.
As they have done in most podcasts.
Welcome to my house. Yeah, no, was his name Corrali?
Gabor Corrali. Yeah.
Corrali, yeah. I liked his trackies because he looked like he'd just got 2 for a tenner, like Slazenger from Sports Direct.
Yeah,
like, they were huge.
They're dog walking ones.
Yeah. Whereas I don't like. I mean, Alisson wears them, but he's one of the most beautiful men I've ever seen. So I'm not going to fall out of him about it.
He rivals Dion as well. Have you seen the league?
Does he?
Yeah.
Do you know what? I mean, like, so other than the fact plays for Liverpool.
I could. You name a footballer, I'll tell you. I'll give you a rough
8.2.
idea.
It's a weird gift.
It's
a weird gift you've got. Hasn't even seen him. He can just sense it.
Yeah.
He can sense you're like a bat.
I'm like a psychic.
He uses sonar around their junk.
Honestly, it's a gift. You know, like how they give ratings in the paper. I just do that.
And ironically, Alisson is a 9.2. Yeah, so Massimo Tobi, I think one of the worst goalkeepers I've seen for what was at the time a top club. And that madness continued for a while with was it Fabian Barthez, then Carroll. What's his name? Not Lindelof. It was like Lingard or something like that.
Lindegaard, yeah. Thomas DJ Kuszak.
DJ Kuszak. And then all the way until Van der Sar came in and rescued us.
Yeah.
The silly thing was, I remember when Schmeichel left, Van der Sar went from Ajax to Juventus on a free.
Yeah, and then went to Fulham.
Yeah, because he got potted because they spent 30 odd million on Buffon, which turned out to be a good result for them. Yeah. But ended up at Fulham, which was madness. Mm. So, yeah, Massimo Tobi.
Okay, in defence, I've gone for David Luiz.
Yeah, who was famously described as a PlayStation character on FIFA with a kid running around in circles with the PlayStation. There's a lot of money been spent on David Luiz.
A lot of money's been spent on him. Lord knows why.
Hit a rocket though, couldn't he?
He could hit a rocket, but a broke clock's right. It's multiple times of the day.
I don't know how you lost your thread with that, but I really enjoyed it. A broken clock is right.
Do you know what I was
multiple
thinking?
Times a day.
Do you know what I was thinking? I was thinking about the time an act that we both know that isn't very good had an absolute stormer at a gig I watched. Similar hair to David Luiz, actually. And I messaged you and you said, well, a broke clock is right twice a day. Like, let him have it. It will be the only time this year this happens.
I'm pretty sure that was proven to be right.
Yeah, I believe so. David Luiz, right. Centre half that tries to play. And it's a real bugbear of mine. If you're a centre half, you're not very good at football.
Yeah, you're either good enough to be a midfielder or you're not good enough to be a footballer.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? Wear World Cups, wear Puma Kings, don't wear Vapors and pretend that you can burst into the midfield. It's absolutely ridiculous. He also has the hair of a naughty, posh child.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like a Rupert or something.
Rupert, you haven't finished your yogurt pot.
He looks like the kid from Outnumbered.
Yeah, he needed kicking in the face as well.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you. I couldn't stand him.
Always drops a clanger. Was in such a successful Chelsea side and a reasonably successful Arsenal side that he just had. If he didn't have those players around him, he just stood out. I don't like him as a player. I don't like him as a man.
Definitely not as a man. Yeah, do you know what? I'm with you on this because, again, I'm a United fan for God knows how many years, and there's times where United have been successful with a couple of passengers that did a job, but they weren't
a passenger, mate.
This is what I mean. This is what I'm saying. My point is that, you can't have a passenger when you've spent big money on him. If he's come through the youth system and they get the club and they give everything, even now, talk about people like McTominay. I don't think he's the best player in the world, but he gives you everything when he's out there. Does it mean he's
because he keeps it simple?
Yeah, but then you can recognise because there aren't world-class players everywhere else, that costs you in a team. Whereas someone like David Luiz, like you say, he had some of the best players money could buy. Is the bottom line.
In the best league in the world, and he's there.
I don't get, certain players like him where just so much money is spent on them back and forth as well is the bit I don't get. Because they bought him twice, didn't they?
Yeah.
Then he went to Arsenal. Yeah.
Stupid.
No, I think it's a strong shout, mate. I'm happy with that, yeah. So, my defender, I went with Jean-Alain Boumson.
Yeah, Newcastle.
Yeah, 8.5 million think it came from Rangers.
Did it?
Rangers, 8 million. And very much, to be fair, it was a toss-up between him and Titus Bramble.
Yeah.
But one came with a bit more. I think when they paid that for Titus Bramble, everyone was like, really? Whereas Boomsong, they thought, I think it was Souness was the manager at the time, and it was like, this is going to be the difference. And he was very much.
It might have been Robson, you know.
You
For
reckon?
Bramble, yeah.
Oh, Bramble, I'm talking about Boomsong.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was one of the ones where it's like, because he's supposed to be the upgrade for Bramble.
Yeah,
but you've
yeah,
just
yeah,
bought
yeah,
the
yeah.
same player, he's just got a fancier name. He's just French, yeah. So, so I picked him because I just remember him being, and again, one of those players, unlike David Luiz, Boomsong was one of the players you thought, you should be good.
Yeah.
You really should be good at this. You look quick, big, strong, intimidating, but just absolute fucking haphazard. I haven't really got a lot more to add to that.
It's when defenders think they can play, mate. It's
always
doesn't work out for them usually.
Well, we're now in a generation where it's goalkeepers that think they can play. So
this is true. This is true.
Cool. Who else you got? Who's your next player?
I've gone for Matty Longstaff.
Newcastle.
Yeah. The worst of the two brothers.
Is it Sean? The other
Sean is the good one.
Sean's he's still there. Matty's fucked up.
Matty went to Aberdeen on loan.
Yep.
Got sent back. Which is a bad sign, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, if you can't even be a squad player at Aberdeen.
Yeah. He went to...
And that is just, I will just clarify, that is with all due disrespect to the Scottish League.
He then went to Mansfield for the rest of that season.
With old
With
Nigel
Clough.
Yeah.
It was Nigel Clough. He's a Nigel Clough player, isn't he? He's got a big name from the Premier League.
Yeah, just in how many
But
letters?
just isn't
how many
that-
letters
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he comes to Colchester and barely plays at all.
Yeah.
I think a knee injury, then gets sent back in January, doesn't play the rest of the season, gets let go by Newcastle. He's not necessarily a flop in terms of how he's played, but the fact that he had so much promise and didn't play at all.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had so much promise, and I'm pretty sure he went to Aberdeen, thought he was too good for the league, struggled, and then got sent back.
Yeah,
sort of says it all about attitude.
Yeah,
and he also looks a bit like, I don't know if you've seen this geezer on Instagram at all, but have you seen the carnivore bloke?
Yeah.
He looks a bit like him. That's the only reason I've picked him, to be honest, so I can put them side by side. The geezer that made a carnivore magnum. Do you see that?
No, I didn't.
It's just milk. It's just milk he's put in the freezer.
That's bullshit.
Carnivore magnum.
Oh, fucking hideous. Yeah, no, I think there's a thing with, because all jokes aside about Scotland, like if you're not going to work hard, you're going to struggle anywhere.
Yeah.
Like again, over the course, United had a lot of youth players like coming from a bigger club, going somewhere and getting found out real quick because they didn't want to graft.
Mm-hmm.
Like even the first time they go to proper, as like ex-pros got like go and play men's football in the lower leagues where it's a bit more blood and thunder, and you soon get found out if you're not grafter.
It's all well and good playing against kids, mate. You play against men whose livelihood it is.
Yeah, someone's
See how
going to
you
smash
get
you
on.
out the way because they've got to pay the mortgage payment. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. So I just
Or
thought.
get the Ladbrokes by 5.
Yeah. Exactly. I just went for Matty Longstaff. Then.
Yeah, fair enough. Shade thrown at Matty Longstaff, poor guy.
Yeah. Well, you're not your brother, are you?
Called out. Ultimate, right? So I've gone with my midfielder. I've gone with one midfielder and 2 up top.
Have you?
I've gone very attacking with this because
I haven't gone. The most attacking player I've got is David Luiz.
Alberto Aquilani.
Know the name? Was it Liverpool?
Yeah, so this was Xabi Alonso's replacement.
Nice.
So I don't know if you know the story about Xabi
Pure
Alonso.
class.
So Xabi Alonso, Liverpool were trying to shift him the year before he went.
Right.
So apparently it was all but agreed with Arsenal for about 15 mil. Didn't happen for whatever reason. Don't know if he didn't want to go,
That's
whatever.
crazy.
Because they were trying to bring in Gareth Barry.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the story. But they were trying to shift. Let's just get this.
Xabi Alonso for Gareth Barry.
trying to move him on. No takers, because you want to bring in Gareth Barry.
That is insane.
Right. So anyway, he eventually goes a year later to Real Madrid for a lot more money, I think. So he must have had a blinding season. I think he went for the best part of 30.
Yeah.
This is Xabi Alonso. And the replacement because Gareth Barry's already gone City by this point, is Alberto Aquilani, where they spent £17 million going from Roma. Bearing in mind, a year before they've tried to shift Xabi Alonso for 15, so 17's big money at this point.
Yeah.
And I don't think he ever arrived in Liverpool. I don't think anyone ever saw him. I don't think he played a game. I mean, I'm pretty sure he did, but I remember he turned up and he had injury problems when he arrived, and it just never happened. There's always a bit of added beauty to Liverpool fucking up for me. I really enjoy it, especially when it was that. I don't even know if this was Benitez. It feels like it was Benitez. Sorry, yeah. I really disliked him, Benitez.
I mean, if you're trying to pot Xabi Alonso,
yeah, that in itself. And don't get me wrong, I don't think I appreciate. Obviously, as a United fan, I didn't like Liverpool. Didn't like watching Liverpool, and in a team that had Dirk Kuyt in it, I was just a bit like, I don't respect anything you guys do.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So, I don't think I appreciated how good Xabi Alonso was until he went to Real Madrid, and then what he did after that, and then at Bayern and all the rest of it, and then I literally emailed him one day saying, you should think about coaching. I think you've got a lot to offer. And then, so I don't know if that had an impact on him or what, but either way. But yeah, Alberto Aquilani, I think he ended up leaving on loan maybe after a while of nothing happening. And then obviously Liverpool went through their fun and games with people like Hodgson, Dalglish, all sorts. So
that was a crazy period for Liverpool.
That's what everyone talks about, this Klopp era. The glory years for me were anything between Graham Souness and probably Klopp turning up.
Yeah,
even
mate.
actually, no,
Even
Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers, that team was scary to watch. And it all coincided with us having David Moyes as a manager, so obviously it's going to make us look even worse than we were anyway, or as proved to be for the next 12 years. But yeah, until Rodgers came in and they were just playing that beautiful football, Sterling, Sturridge and Suarez.
Yeah.
Although obviously as soon as Suarez went, it all fell to shit, didn't it? So maybe it wasn't Brendan Rodgers, but you know what I mean.
Andy Carroll.
Yeah, Andy Carroll. Yeah,
that was Dalglish, wasn't it? That got
yeah.
A
few
he
months
might
up.
be your striker. Sorry, I shouldn't.
No. It would have been a good shout, though, to be fair, but no, he isn't.
Honourable mention for Andy Carroll.
That was my Alberto Aquilani, £17 million super flop.
Super flop. What a nickname. I've gone for two in midfield. I've gone for Bebe.
Bebe. I feel this is famously the only player Alex Ferguson ever bought off a video.
Yeah. I don't know what video it was.
He must have been watching Shawshank Redemption and just fucking pocket dialed someone.
2 league appearances for Man United. Spent most of his time out on loan.
I would say though, right, because he came in out of nowhere, and every club wants to feel like they've just uncovered this gem that nobody knew about.
Yeah.
And he scored in his first 2 appearances.
Did he?
Yeah. So I remember thinking, and he was a beast as well. He was a unit of a guy, and you're thinking this could be a player, and then again, just no.
Faded into.
Don't get me wrong. I think one of them was a League Cup game or whatever, but he scored 2 in 2, and then that was your lot, I think.
That's crazy that's happened. He was widely known as Fergie's sort of worst signing.
I mean, to be honest, for everything Fergie got right, there's a good top 10 of terrible signings.
Yeah.
When I went through the worst signings or the biggest flops, you could have done top 20 United just from Fergie's time. The transfer policy has been shambles since he left, but you could easily pick. Don't get me wrong, he got so many right, but it'd be really, really easy to pick some terrible, terrible ones that you picked.
Well, that's another episode we can do. Bebe, who you gone as your 2 strikers? Right,
so I'm gonna go. I'm gonna do it this way around, right? So might be a controversial one considering what we do.
Okay.
Diego Forlan.
Yeah?
Because at United, he was a fucking flop, an unmitigated disaster.
Didn't he score against Liverpool, though?
He did twice, but he didn't. I think he didn't score in the first 17 games.
Okay.
So was it 6.9 from Independiente?
Yeah.
You say it. And I think it's more important to say, not important, doesn't matter. But I've picked him because he was he worked hard. He had that South American thing about him where he worked hard. He never stopped running. You knew. I think the fans liked him because he never stopped trying.
Yeah.
But it just didn't happen. He scored. I remember the one you're talking about. He scored twice against Liverpool, and he had the odd good day or afternoon or cameo or whatever off the bench, but it just didn't happen for him. And then obviously he goes to Villarreal, does bits. Same with Atletico, and I think I read a stat that he's the only non-Real Madrid or Barcelona player to win the Golden Boot twice.
That's good, isn't it? But obviously for Man U, he was struggling. He looks like a netball teacher.
Yeah, he was early with the Alice band.
He was very early with the Alice band.
He was. He has got that vibe of stocky netball teacher. It's going to try and flip the girls.
Yeah.
But if he was a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that is it, yeah.
I like that, yeah. Diego Forlan.
I think, because like I say, he went on to have an unbelievable career, but it's a bit of a what if. And actually, some players just aren't suited for certain leagues. I think he says his average was, 1 in every 5.5 games. It was actually, considering I don't think he scored in the first 17, or so, it was something like that. It was a mad run where he didn't score. I think I might have misread it, but it's actually not as bad a record as I thought it would be, to be honest, because he just didn't. And again, but I didn't hate him. He just always tried his best.
Tried hard,
yeah, give it everything. So
I like that.
He was, yeah.
Okay, yeah, Diego Forlan. I've gone for Roberto Soldado.
Similar thing, smashed it up in Spain, all in the UK.
Yeah. So 26 million he went to Tottenham for.
This is after where they were spunking the Bale money, wasn't it? And they sold like 9 players. Yeah.
7 goals in 52 games, I believe.
26 million, again, younger people, whatever. It's easy to forget. Because
at that time, it was a lot of money.
Bang average players are going for 50 now. So, it is mad. 26 was big money. You think that's probably not a million miles off when a year or two after Berbatov went for like 30, and that was crazy. Yeah. That was big money. That is, no, I
crazy
think
money.
That's
26
a really good
million,
shout.
7 goals in 50 odd games, and he looks like. He often looked like an English actor was playing a Spanish man. Do you know what I mean?
I do
like
know
you
what
watch like a Sky One drama, and it's like an English bloke playing a Spanish man in like a white linen shirt, with the no collar,
the fake tan,
the fake tan.
Shoes.
Yeah, he looked like, I don't know, Danny Dyer was playing a Spanish bloke.
It's a weird one because he never looked. He must have been, because he was Villarreal as well, wasn't he?
They
or
got
Valencia.
him, I think he ended up going to
Villarreal,
but it was
Valencia.
Betis. They got
was
him
it
from,
Betis?
I believe.
It's one of the ones I couldn't have claimed to have known anything about him before he came, but like you're thinking that's big money as well.
Big money.
Daniel Levy as well spent it. Although they did have an absolute shocker with that Bale money.
Yeah.
Bale money.
Yeah.
He just never looked like he was going to be a player. But he must have done it somewhere. That's like, say, Forlan goes the other way and he then goes back to where independent is that Uruguay or Argentina? Either way, say he goes back to South America after that.
Yeah.
No,
he's
everyone
Uruguayan.
just thinks he was. I know he's Uruguayan, but I didn't know if Independiente. I had it in my head that they were. Either way.
Know.
But you think if he doesn't go to Spain after that, say he ends up here back in South America or whatever, it's just probably has a good career there.
Yeah.
That nobody ever thinks about. But he's widely held up as one of the
Independiente sound like a racist political party out abroad.
I mean, I'm sure if you're in the crowd and you don't fit the aesthetic, I bet they are, to be honest. Don't fuck about around there, do they?
Right, who's your final striker, mate?
I think this is the greatest flop of all time.
Okay. We'll see.
It's got everything. It's got drama. It's got intrigue.
Okay.
It's got twists at the end. It's beautiful.
Okay.
I mean, I can't back any of that up, but it's Adrian Mutu.
Yeah, man. What a guy. Romanian legend.
Big money. Nearly £16 million from Parma, right at the start of the Abramovich era.
Signed with Kesman, didn't he?
And all the others. Yeah, he looked like a player. Good-looking guy, a bit of a playboy by all accounts. And before everything all went really dramatic, I'd heard they'd given him so much money, like wages and all the rest of it when he joined. He would just leave his car wherever he wanted in London and just pay the tickets because it was easier than trying to park it. Like, and I like that level of douchebaggery where you're yeah, no, fuck you if you're disabled or it's blocking a bus route or any of that shit, or an ambulance can't get by, couldn't give a fuck, mate, I can pay the ticket, right? You got to admire that level of ignorance, and you think
should have gone with Booper, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I like it.
But so to start off with, it says 6 goals in 27 games, so it weren't a good start. And bear in mind,
for someone that's off his nut, like, do you know what I mean? For someone on a come down, that's not bad.
It's better to run around a bit more. It's just you had to run off and do a shit every 5 minutes.
For someone that's covered in bin bags,
you're
trying to sweat it out.
You're ruining my big reveal here because not everybody knows.
Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Sorry.
Jesus. When it's before your time, you don't want to get involved, but now you want to fucking ruin the ending. I'm only joking. I think it's pretty common knowledge that Adrian Mutu just decided I can't stick it in the onion bag, so I'm just going to get on the bag. That's what he did.
That's what you were building up to.
I just thought of that. When you paused me and disrupted my flow, that's the best I could come up with.
When you get heckled, it's when you come alive. That's why I do it.
Yeah, so all I'm saying, going by that comment, don't ever interrupt me again.
Start?
Yeah, don't interrupt me again if that's the best I can come up with. I'm amazed I can MC, to be honest, after that shit. So yeah, he obviously was fired for drugs, failing a drugs
testing
test.
Positive for cocaine.
Cocaine, and then they sued him and won.
Yeah.
That was like 15 mil or something. But he'd already gone back. He was at Juventus at one point, but it might have been when they were disgraced in Serie B.
Yeah, he was at Fiorentina as well.
Yeah, he bounced around back in Italy. The big thing, he was sued, and they sued him successfully to recoup best part of 15, 16 million pounds. I don't think they're ever going to see that money. He's probably paying him 50p a week, like a Littlewoods catalogue. He's got a coke problem. What do you want from him? I think
he failed a drugs test again at Fiorentina.
Yes. So he had, he likes what he likes.
That was for a diuretic, I believe, which is used to get other things out of your system.
Yeah. Either way, a troubled young man.
Yeah.
Who got a fair bit of debt, I'd imagine.
Fair bit of debt. He ended up managing, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, he ended up coaching in Romania, I'm sure. And, it was unsuccessfully. I'm pretty sure he levered someone in the stands. I mean, I'm not 100%.
Well,
it fits the MO.
He's not on coke, wasn't he?
But I'm pretty sure he levered someone.
I feel like he was more likely to be given the title of transport manager for a club in Romania, and then when they're in the Conference League, he's just shipping things over, work with what you know.
DHL.
Yeah, work with what you know.
I like that, man. Go through your team again if you can remember it.
Is that all of yours?
Yeah, all of mine. I started.
You did start, yeah. So in goal, I had Massimo Taibi.
Yeah.
In defence, I had Jean-Alain Boumson.
Nice.
Then I had another player. Who did I have? Oh, Alberto Aquilani.
Yeah.
Diego Forlan and Adrian Mutu. Now I've read it back, I actually feel bad for Diego Forlan because he went on to have a good career, whereas the others were just proven to be no-hopers over time.
I went for Brad Jones, David Luiz, Matty Longstaff, Bebe and Roberto Soldado. We have been Left Footers, the Unlikely Podcast.
It's good that Bebe's getting picked for a team.
Yeah. Please do like and share if you've got a friend that is into football and into obscure facts. If you've got someone that spends most of their time on Wikipedia looking at footballers,
we get them on here because we don't do enough research.
Yeah, we're the podcast for you.
We could have someone there just give feeding us lines. That'd be good.
We could have a producer.
Yeah,
be nice. I've been Aaron J. He's been Jason Stamp. Thank you.
Thank you.